Coming up next on Channel 11, the Yankees and the Tigers.
The date, July 4th, 1939, and Yankee Stadium is the focus of the baseball world as a city, a sport, and a nation turn out to pay tribute to one of baseball's greatest warriors. It was Lou Gehrig Day, and they were all there, from the fans to the mayor to the 27 Yankee teammates. It may be half a century later, but the words of the Iron Horse still echo through the rafters of Yankee Stadium. It was the day Lou Gehrig said goodbye.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Hello there, everybody. Live on the New York Yankees Baseball Network, WPIX presents the 1989 New York Yankees.
Thank you very much, Mel Allen. Live on the New York Yankee Baseball Network, WPIX Sports presents the New York Yankees and the Detroit Tigers on this 4th of July from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hi, hello, and welcome to Yankee Stadium, everybody, and happy holiday to all of you on this 4th of July. As you can tell, this is a very special day for all of us here with the Yankees and for all of us that are a part of baseball, because this is the 50th anniversary of Lou Gehrig Day at Yankee Stadium. It was July the 4th of 1939. Along with the Scooter, Phil Rizzuto, and Tom Seaver, I'm George Grant. And Scooter, this is a day where there's a lot of nostalgia, a lot of memories here at the stadium.
There's really, I tell you, it's like people speaking to you from the upper deck and the loge and down below, and voices of Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, and Joe McCarthy, and all the great Yankees. But first, I think we ought to tell the folks why we are attired in these beautiful jackets and hats. They are replicas of the warm-up jackets and hats that the Yankees wore in the 20s and 30s. I tell you, they are unbelievable. And the beauty part of it is that we get to keep these when we go home. But I think even the women would be surprised to see how they're...
They are beautiful.
I think
there's
it's
a lining. There's
I'm
a
not
lining.
sure.
They're pretty sharp in any
but
of it.
But they are beautiful. But you're right, George. It's a sad day, and 50 years ago today, a day that I don't think there was a dry eye in the house after that speech or during that speech by Lou Gehrig. And when we start talking about his records, which we'll do later on, it not only chokes you up, but you realize what a great athlete he was, to have batted in back of Babe Ruth and collect the runs batted in and run score that he did.
Tom Seaver, I know that we look at the plaque of Lou Gehrig out in center field, and we've been here before and had an opportunity to see the memories and to feel what Lou Gehrig meant to this franchise. He means something to all of baseball, doesn't he?
Well, it's, you know, he transcends the New York Yankees. You know, he is what one of the legends of baseball, all of baseball. It makes no difference whether the fact that he did play for the New York Yankees, the speech that he gave here at the stadium on that very special day 50 years ago, one of the highlights of baseball history. Another thing about Lou Gehrig, about every young ball player that comes to this ballpark, every future major leaguer, every kid that has come off the sandlots, when they would walk in here, they would want to see the plaques and the monuments in center field of Yankee Stadium, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. It is one of the highlights of any young player that has ever wished and had the good fortune to play this game in Yankee Stadium. One of the first things you do is go out and look at those monuments. I know when I came here in one of the exhibition games between the Mets and the Yankees, the first thing I did, and this is after I've already played in the big leagues maybe 3 or 4 years, went right out to those monuments and looked at Ruth and looked at Gehrig and looked at all the history and it gives you chills thinking about it, because it is such an integral part of history of not just the New York Yankees but our entire country.
Those of you that aren't familiar, if you do come out to the stadium, you haven't been out for a while, that is now called Monument Park, and there is access from the stands to Monument Park. So come out to the ballpark a little bit early the next time you come to Yankee Stadium and bask in the history and the tradition of the Yankees. Out there, you can see the monuments and the great tradition that the Yankees certainly are very much a part of. And Scooter, you have a unique perspective of all of this, because yes, you're a great Yankee, but you're also a teammate of Mr. Gehrig.
Well, not actually a teammate. I didn't get to play with Lou.
Right.
I was in the minor leagues with Kansas City at the time. I got to play against him. And, I mean, it was just a thrill watching him come to bat. He and DiMaggio and all those great ball players. Ruth was through playing them, but it was just a thrill having been associated with him that little bit.
We go now to the field where, as we look out at these resplendent stadium field today, Robert Merrill is about ready to sing our national anthem. And there is no greater moment in baseball than on a 4th of July than to listen to this man sing our national anthem from Yankee Stadium.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hail, as the twilight laugh blue stars, whose broad stars and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, was so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors, that star-spangled banner yet wave, o'er the land of the free and the hope of the brave.
Well, there's Robert Merrill, who always brings a lot of nostalgia and a great voice here to Yankee Stadium, and has sung the national anthem for so many years. And right now, throwing out the first ball will be Larry Rand, who is the chairman of the ALS Foundation.
And we commemorate the 50th anniversary. Larry Rand to Don Mattingly.
Good place to throw it, right over to first base. Not to home, but over to first. There's a special day here at the stadium.
Very, very apropos, John Seaver. See, a lot of people don't tie that in with Gehrig being the great first baseman he was, and Mattingly trying to follow in his footsteps. It's funny how pitchers think of certain things and infielders and outfielders and catchers think of another. You cracked me up with that line you said, was there any pitcher didn't want to pitch for those Yankees in that era? I mean, with the runs they scored.
Well, we were talking about down before when we were looking at the tape, Scooter. That was the ball club, the 1927 Yankees, that scored 900. Listen to this, 975 runs they scored in 154 games. That's 6 1/3 runs as an average per game. As we go on through the day, we'll talk about the runs produced by Ruth and Gehrig, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see all the clips about Lou Gehrig. There's the pitcher for the Yankees today, Don Schultze at Columbus, 7-4 with a very respectable 2.14 earned run average in 14 games. The lineup for the Detroit Tigers came into town last night, late last night, I might add, from Baltimore. Scott Lusader leads off in center field. Tracy Jones in left field. Lou Whitaker hits third at second base. Keith Moreland, the cleanup hitter, playing third base. Freddie Lynn, the DH. Chet Lemon hits in the sixth spot. He is playing right field today. Dave Bergman at first. Mike Heath, the catcher, and Mike Brumley at short. Lusader, Jones, Whitaker, Moreland, Lynn, Lemon, Bergman, Heath, and Brumley will provide the opposition for Don Schultz today.
All right, Scott Lusader steps in to face Don Schultze. And as Tom told you, he called up emergency from Columbus. And here's his chance. He pitches a pretty good ball game today. He could stick around. Lusader, who hurt the Yankees in the 3-game series out in Tiger Town. But luckily, Trammell is not in the lineup today. I tell you that Alan Trammell has hurt the Yankees through the years so much, especially in that last series. And there's a strike by Schultze. Luceda hitting .256. No homers. And strike 2. He hit the outside corner.
Remember, Scooter, we were in Detroit, and this young Luceda was up. He swung at every pitch.
That's
First
right.
4 pitches the Yankees threw, he swung it. Didn't they
Yes,
give us
he
high,
did.
low, in the dirt?
And he struck him out. Well, an auspicious debut for Don Schulte. And that's got to really make him feel good.
High heat, and Luceda just could not catch up to it.
I don't know too much about Don Schulte, Steve.
Good fastball. Nothing really fancy. Little slider. Fastball seems to be his best pitch. You can see they went with it right there with 2 strikes. There's the breaking ball.
All right. Tracy Jones, who had an outstanding series against the Yankees in Detroit, batting .345, 2 homers, 7 RBI. And that just missed. Another breaking ball. They remember him, the damage he did out in Detroit. So they're trying not to throw him that fastball, but he's behind now, 2-0. High foul. It's going out of play.
Jones going after the 2-0 pitch. Cripple situation. It's odd you would swing at a fastball, and he had not seen the fastball yet either.
A little low, 3-1. And Dallas Green. Yankees lost 2 in a row after reaching the 500 mark. Good with their pitching staff being decimated the way it is. And another one. He goes after high and away, fouled it off. And the upper deck, full count.
It's good you look back and you talk about the pitching staff. There's Billy Connors, the pitching coach for the Yanks. You know, when the Yanks came out of Florida, their rotation was Candelaria, Hawkins, LaPointe, Leiter, and Tommy John. Those were going to be the 5 starters.
He popped him up. A breaking pitch on 3-2, and Mattingly makes the catch. And 2 men are out. He showed us something else, Coach. Breaking ball on 3-2. But you're right, Tom. I mean, it was unbelievable. They were all set. They had a staff. It was a little old in the tooth, so to speak, but they thought it would do the job. And who's left?
The only one that's left is Andy Hawkins. LaPointe has been on the disabled list. Leiter is gone. Tommy John is gone. Candy, of course, is on the disabled list. And now the rotation seems to be Hawkins, Clay Parker, Island, Jones / McCullers, Schulte. So it is there's been a pitching staff that Dallas and Billy Connors have just not been able to settle yet. And above, that's long. We're almost halfway through the season here.
Sure, they've had a lot of sleepless nights. There's a bunt, and it's going to be a base hit. Boy, I tell you, for some reason, Brookins moved back on the pitch, and Schulte did not break off the mound. It was a surprise bunt with 2 out, but Whitaker's been hitting a lot of home runs. Drops one down for a base hit.
I don't think this is a real good play myself, Scooter. 2 outs, your number 3 hitter. You know, if there's 1 out in the inning, no outs, leading off, get on base. But that's your number 3 hitter, especially here at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, true.
With 2 outs, swing the bat.
This is
especially as the number 3 hitter. You got to let it go.
You got it. This is actually an easier park to hit home runs than Tiger Town, where he hits a lot of them. But maybe there's been a little bit of a slump. There's Sparky in the background there, behind the bat boy. And Keith Moreland takes the ball. Ball game just underway. On the 4th of July, happy birthday to our boss, George Steinbrenner. He's a firecracker for sure. Got a temper to go with the day. George Steinbrenner. And this young whippersnapper on my right, Dave, reminds me that it's also George M. Cohan's birthday. That's right. Yankee Doodle Dandy. Born on the 4th of July. I'm sure there are a lot of other people born on the 4th of July, but those 2 come to mind right now. 2-0 to Moreland. He's batting .316. That looks like a pretty good slider he's got, Summer. Whatever it is, it's breaking real late.
Well, they're not catching up to it. Yankees, excuse me, the Tiger hitters behind everything that Schulte has thrown so far.
Schulte's got himself a real hot, humid day to pitch in. 2 men out. He's checking Whitaker over at first. Moreland has 14 doubles, 5 homers, and 33 runs batted in. And Whitaker gets back easily. Whitaker has stolen 3 bases and been caught twice. Slider way outside, 3-1. Foul in the upper deck. And as Sam said, when you see a lot of foul balls being hit up in the upper deck to the right and the left, they are not catching up to his fastball.
Yeah, and every time that they've done it too, Scoot, they've been ahead in the count. I'm talking about the hitters. Schulte has got behind Jones. Whitaker bunted on the first pitch and then got behind Moreland. Able to swing in a 3-1. Jones had a 2-0 and 3-1 count to swing on. He ended up popping up with Mattingly at first.
All right, he curved Jones. Let's see what he does here. And nope, he threw the fastball and he lines it to left for a base hit. Whitaker moving, has to stop at second. Polonia up with it. So the old 2-out bugaboo at Schulte's got to get out of in this inning with 2 out. Get the first 2, next 2 base hits.
Designated hitter, number 9.
And now Fred Lynn.
Oh, we're talking about Whitaker with 2 outs bunting. You know, there's a guy that can hit extra bases, hit the ball for extra bases.
Yeah.
Not really a stolen base threat anymore.
Well, you mentioned had he gone, got a double or something. He'd have been in now.
That's right. Be 1-0. That's right.
All right, here's Fred Lynn, who is always dangerous, but lines one to right field. And he caught it on 1 hop. They're going to send him in. He's a dead duck. Holy cow! Holy God, he bopped this. Has thrown some strikes in his day, Seaver, but that was unbelievable. I can't believe it. Anyway, nothing across, which is the best news. And at the end of 1/2 inning, the Tigers nothing, and the Yankees coming back.
Participating advertisers in New York Yankee baseball are Budweiser. Beechwood age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. GE, from satellites to medical systems, we bring good things to life. Canon, so advanced, it's the world leader in 35mm photography. And Burger King, where we do it like you'd do it. And by the New York Yankees. Well, with some play, Scooter, that Barfield made Whitaker, who was on second base. Looks like he's limping a little bit, but I mean an absolute dead strike from Barfield. No hops and a good play to get it on the short hop.
That's right.
And sets up. He didn't rush. He knew where the runner was. He knew exactly if there was a strike to home plate.
No chance to get by Guerin either.
And just kind of a courtesy slide by Whitaker.
But you're right. Whitaker was limping coming down that third. I was surprised they sent him.
Alex Grammer's the third base coach for the Detroit Tigers, playing aggressively down there and trying to get a run in the first inning. Had it been a play later in the game, he may not have sent him. For the Yankees, Steve Sachs, Polonia, Mattingly, Balboni, Barfield, and Brookins. Bobby Guerin, Espinosa, and Kelly, their lineup today as they face a crafty left-hander in Frank Tanana.
Well, he went from heat and best curve in baseball to crafty, just as you mentioned. And there's a strike, 1-1. And now Saxey, who is going so great and all of a sudden is 0 for 12. He's gone hitless in 3 straight games, first time this year. But he's still batting .319. Go up, hit his bat. And he's going to be thrown out. Oh, man. Now, why does it always happen when you're in a slump? I don't remember him doing that all year. Here he's in a mild slump.
22.
When you're hot, you're hot. When you're cold, you're cold.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got to remember all those little flares and little bloops that you hit that fall in for base hits. You know, when you're going hot, you know where that ball's going to go? That'd be a swinging bunt down the third baseline. You get a base hit. That's exactly right.
See, the pitchers remember that. The hitters don't.
Sure you do.
They figure they got it coming.
Yeah, but pitchers get away with mistakes, too.
Yes, they do.
They just,
yeah.
you know, Mattingly, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
On Sunday, Mattingly hit 2 balls to right field.
Yeah.
Remember those 2 fly balls he hit to right field?
Yes.
And he just got under.
Yeah.
And do you think the pitcher doesn't know they got away with 2 mistakes in that game? Absolutely is right.
Polonia takes a curve in the corner. It's 0-2, 2 quick strikes. Louis been having trouble with left-handed pitching in these last 2 ball games. Of course, Higuera gives anybody trouble, especially the Yankees. That's outside. Richie Heath set up out there. He sets up awful early out there. That make a pitcher mad when they do that, or you just throw for the glove anyway, Steve?
I don't like the catcher. I never like the catcher to move anyway. But that's, it's a different kind of. That's one of the aspects of the game today that's a little bit different.
Yeah. Oh, man, that was self-defense there. I think that would have hit him if he didn't hit that ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Told you Sachs was batting .319. Here's that last pitch. Would have hit him right on the left shoulder. Again, it did nick him. How do you like that? Just as he was saying, son of a gun. Mental telepathy. He sort of steps in and the left arm comes forward instead of falling back. So, one way to help the team and not get hurt. It was a pretty good act. They see him grab that arm. Probably like a mosquito bite.
Tanana doesn't throw hard, but he will throw inside to keep you honest. He has to throw inside to be able to be effective with his off-speed stuff away. And home plate umpire Jim McKeon right on top of it and said, yes, hit by the pitch, go to first base.
All right, and here he is. He's at first. Bergman holding him on, and Don Mattingly now with a hitting streak. He's batting strike 1. That scoreboard. A little confusing right now, but he's hitting .307, 11 homers, and 54 runs batted in.
Confusing because it says 307, then 306.
Oh, the at-bats. I see. They've changed that. Look at it. They got the at-bats and hits now up there. And home runs and RBIs and stolen bases. Now, that's something new, I think. I am not very observant. I have tunnel vision. Whoa,
well, that's
man.
a balk.
It was not only a balk, but they had poor Polonia leaning towards second. Left-handers get away with murder.
I mean, he was stepping right toward Dallas Green in the Yankee dugout. That picked up. Watch this. You watch his right foot. That's supposed to go someplace toward first. Oh, he picked him off.
He did. Holy cow. You would think after that close a play that Louis would be a little more careful. So,
Pat Corrales arguing down there and saying, listen, he's got to step this way. Kenny Kaiser having no part of it.
But he's the guy that usually calls balks. And now Corrales is going to argue with Kenny Kaiser. But Tom picked it up right away. And then when you saw the slow motion shot, that would have frozen anybody over there. All right, 2 out, Mattingly. Lined and a base hit. Oh, man, great play out there by Lemon. He almost got a broken jaw, but he was allowed to, got a little too close to it on the hop. Imagine if that was artificial surface. How many? 17 consecutive games for Mattingly.
Boy, he just stays back so well.
Well, that was a pretty good breaking pitch.
Not bad, but he keeps his hands back. He keeps his front side closed, and he has such a quick bat. Yeah, he's checking the ball. Make sure he didn't have the ball. That's right.
I like that. And the batter now is Balboni, who takes a strike. I tell you, poor Steve was overmatched against Higuera. Up 4 times, struck out all 4 times yesterday. But with Tanana, he's got a little better chance. He's hitting .245. Strike 2. Oh, he took a little off. First a slow curve, then a change. Steve is thinking, what is next? Boney's got 10 homers, 32 runs batted in. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. I heard a stat on TV last night that Jim Abbott, who was the winning pitcher yesterday, has won 7 ball games, and he's the first left-handed rookie pitcher to win 7 ball games. I must have heard that stat wrong. And off the end of the bat, didn't quite get it in left center. And it gives Luceta time to catch up. If he got a little more wood, it would have been gone. But nothing across for the Yankees, and at the end of 1, Tigers nothing and the Yankees nothing.
Subs on your own.
The men who have last been actively associated with Gehrig present something to show the high regard in which they hold him as a man and a player and a friend.
Well, that was Sid Mercer, who was the master of ceremonies that day, and great manager Joe McCarthy, along with Lou Gehrig in that picture at the microphone here at home plate at Yankee Stadium on that day 50 years ago. Swing and a miss by Chet Lemon. Lemon hitting .241. And Schultz moves him back. He's moving that ball around. Even though they got 3 singles off him after 2 are out in the first inning. That's a great throw by Barfield, cut the run down. And that's fouled out of play. And of course, the Yankees a lot of baseballs today. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Next time you see a shot of Joe McCarthy, when we flash some of these great films, notice the length of his uniform shirt. Long sleeves, always water. Oh, that was a tough pitch. 2-2. Joe McCarthy was my first manager in the big leagues.
He had long sleeves then?
Yep.
The uniform sleeves, you're talking about,
yes,
right?
the
Not underneath, not the underneath shirt.
No, just the uniform thing, right. And a foul back, it's 2-2.
They all used to be that way too, didn't they?
Yeah, but
when did that change?
I don't know, but we had them just below the elbow, which was still bent. You know, when you bent your arm, you could still feel it in there, and they were all wool, 100% wool. Struck him out. Oh, man, he's got a wicked slider today. And I hope he uses it a little more. He's using it in the right spot so far.
14.
1 out.
Dave Brickman. First base.
Good breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. Lemon, the thing that makes that effective against him is that he came back inside earlier in the count, remember?
Right, absolutely.
Don't want to go sticking that nose out over the plate after you know that a pitcher will come back inside on you.
All right, here's Bergman. Dave hitting .257. Takes a strike. Got 2 homers and 14 runs batted in. Way back he broke in the Yankee farm system. And hit down the left field line. That's trouble. That is trouble. But it's a foul ball. A break for the Yankees. You see a little bit of foul territory down there. Bologna are not used to that little bit of space. Got to slow up or you'll run into that wall. Look at that glove. The marble out every time I see it. I mean, his finger, you see where the finger is. He's got 3/4 of the glove still left. But he catches a lot of balls he doesn't even feel.
There is no way an infielder could use that glove, is there?
No. You'd never get the ball out to throw the runner out or make a double play.
You never feel it.
Yeah, right.
Part of it's feeling the ground ball, isn't it?
Absolutely. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. 1 out, no score. Top of the second. Did he go? Yes, he did. He's out of there. Oh. And Bergman can't believe it, but he did start, and he turned his body too late. He threw a slider to a left-hand batter, Seaver.
Looked like a fastball up and in to me, Scooter. Yeah, fastball. Yeah, he
right.
started to swing. He's guessing out over the plate, and he did swing and then turned his body. You're exactly right.
But then it was a fastball. So 2 out, 2 strikeouts. That's the third of the ball game. Getting the first 2 hitters here, and here is Heath. Heath batting .285, and he takes a breaking ball over strike 1. That's 6 homers, 19 runs batted in. Just inside. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds along the Yankee Baseball Network for station identification. And a ball fouled back. The bat was let go by Heath. And now these fans, they're getting hungry now. They see 3 strikeouts already for sure, so they want another one. Ooh, good little sinker there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Holy cow. He did not swing, but I thought that ball nicked the corner. I don't know how he held up anyway. 3-2.
Breaking ball off the outside part of the plate again, and good job by Heath to hold off.
It was. And bounce foul. Well, there are the long sleeves. You can't even see the end of them. McCarthy's got his arms in.
Well, you can see the one on Gehrig over there on the left. Scooter, see down. That's the one you were talking about down below.
The one we wore, below the elbow, but he wears them down to the wrist.
There's McCarthy. You see his long sleeves to the right.
And fouled back into the seats, out of play.
You know, talking about the gloves, and you played short. Did you cut the leather out of the middle of your glove?
No, but
I've heard all
the old-timers did. They did, and
it was true, huh?
I tried it a couple, and it was great. The only time it might have hurt if you got a line drive and hit right in there, but these old-timers had calluses all over them. I saw a lot of them, Red Ralph, guys like that had the center cut out. Because those gloves in those days were just about as big as your hand. They called them motorman's glove, and it was all padding and leather. First, you had to take a lot of the padding out, and if you didn't, you couldn't catch the ball. It would hit and pop out. So as a result, they would cut the center out, and then when the ball hit, it'd be on the palm of your hand. You'd be able to catch the ball, and it would hold. And I'll tell you, I was never quite strong enough to do that on a regular basis. All right, he hits one, and making a nice running backhand catch, Kelly. I didn't think he was going to get to that, Stephen.
Looked like he coasted it, knew he had it all the way.
That's
he
right.
coasted after it, knew he had it.
All right, 3 up, 3 down at the end of an inning and a half. Tigers nothing and the Yankees nothing. There are the offensive achievements. 23 career grand slams, which is a major league record. The Triple Crown winner in 1934. Look at that average, 363, 49 homers, 165. But the American League MVP in 27 and 36. I thought he had 3.
There were 3, Scooter, but now those are 2 by the Baseball Writers Association. He also won another one before the baseball writers began to give that award. So
thanks for clearing
Lou
that up.
Gehrig, 3 MVPs, but only 2 given by the Baseball Writers Association of America as when it started.
All right, Barfield has the count of 2 balls, no strikes on him. I missed that last stat down there, and it was a very impressive one. I don't know whether it was
493 home runs, and let's see, what was the other one? Pretty good numbers, though, aren't they?
Oh man, unbelievable! Changes high, 3-0.
There it is. His career average, 340.
Isn't that unbelievable? I mean that man. 493 career homers, but that one year, we're going to talk about that later on. Strike 1, 3-1. Barfield hitting .228, 11 homers, 33 runs batted in, and leading the American League in assists with 14. Ooh, what a cut. Foul back.
Knocks Heath's glove right off. Almost knocked him over backwards, too. Keep your nose right in it as a catcher. Don't be turning your head, and that's the reason why right there.
Man.
Actually, the glove came off when Barfield's bat came around.
It did. And then it bounced up and hit him off the mask. So full count, no score, nobody out. And ripped to deep center field. And Luceda runs and makes the catch. Boy, that kid got an excellent jump on that ball because it was not high. And 1 man out.
You look at Luceda in center field, it reminds you of Freddie Lynn taking off, a young Freddie Lynn, doesn't he?
Exactly, young Freddie.
We had one other fly ball. Balboni flew out for the last out in the first inning, and I saw this young kid take off, and I said, gee, I thought Freddie Lynn was the DH today. And I said, yeah, it's Luceda. He has the same kind of actions, physical action in center field as Freddie had when he was a young player.
All right, Tom Brookins takes a pitch outside. Tom batting .240. He's getting that average up, 3 homers. And 10 runs batted in. 1 man out. Right, 1-1. Now, I like that new scorebook. I don't know how long it's been like that. Somebody's got to tell me this. Curve ripped to right field. Lemon going over and makes the catch. And Zanana does throw mostly fly ball outs.
Number 53.
Because he's got the hitters off stride a lot. Here's Bob Guerin. Guerin hitting .395, 3 homers, 6 runs batted in. He came on as a pinch hitter yesterday and got a base hit.
That's a great pitch. That is a great pitch.
We had a couple of guys through that. Steve Hamilton.
Great pitch. From the left-hander to the right-hander. Look, see where Guerin is? Guerin is already committed. You see that? Whether it's a strike or not on the first pitch, you don't even have to get a strike.
Oh, what a play by Moreland. Holy cow. So on the General Electric scoreboard now at the end of 2, it's the Tigers nothing and the Yankees nothing. And we now pause for station identification.
You
will live long and for generations to come. While sports with the white of American baseball, they will point to your record with pride and satisfaction. I congratulate you.
Well, that was the Postmaster General, James Farley, who is a frequent visitor here to Yankee Stadium. And he was helping to honor Lou Gehrig. And you could tell whenever summer began and summer ended, because Mr. Farley would come with his straw hat and sit right in the first row down there alongside the Yankee dugout, put the hat on the first day of summer. Last day of summer, he'd take it off. Usually gave it to somebody. Great memories, I tell you. Here's Mike Brumley. He drags a butt. No, then. Oh, I don't know why Schultz decided to try and tag him. He made a great play, got a good break, Tom, on the hop coming up, but then he had to flip it from the glove. I know he didn't have time to put it in his bare hand, but he's no speed demon. We can see that.
Well, he definitely had a play. If he gets the ball to Mattingly, Don was right at the bag, right where he should have been. Schultz falls off to the left side there, to his left. You can see Mattingly right at the bag, but Brumley runs very well. Good speed. He just got to take it out and backhand it right to Don. It'd been an easy out for him. Because a good play getting off that mound of the left, and you're right, the ball kind of kicked up for him at the very last.
I think Guerin's just giving him a breather there. It looked like Schultz gotten a little out of breath with that quick run.
He's also telling him that this Brumley will run, too. He's got some speed. He's stolen 3 out of 4 for the Tigers.
Quesada struck out his first time up. Schulte keeping an eye on Brumley. And incidentally, the Postmaster General, James Farley, was from Haverstraw, New York. A very popular town just a little north of Yankee Stadium. Ball one.
You know, you're talking about his straw hat, Scooter. One of the great things about those old film clips and stuff.
Yeah.
The old ball games. All the gentlemen wore hats. They all wore hats.
All wore hats.
And ties and coat ties. That's right.
Celluloid collar like Connie Mack used to wear in ties. A lot of golfers even wore ties.
Oh, sure. Sure. My father was a Walker Cup golfer.
I know, yeah.
Back in the 30s. And I have pictures of him in knickers.
No kidding.
And a shirt and tie playing golf. Sure.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
They played. Oh, we're going to have to talk about that one day when the Yankees get on a winning streak. Right now, we got to talk baseball and Lou Gehrig today. No better man to talk about when you're talking about Yankee tradition and heroes. What a man. He led by his bat and glove, legs. Popped him up, shallow left, Polonia. And Polonia makes the catch. One man out.
He makes the catch, and if he can ever find the ball inside that glove, he's going to get it back to the infield, too, isn't he?
Right.
His glove in left field is bigger than Mattingly's glove. Look at the size of that glove.
That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's like a telescope.
You can use that in the winter when you go out and pick your peaches, you know?
That's right. You wouldn't need a bushel basket. That was the old term. Look at Mattingly's glove, half the size of Polonia. Breaking ball a little high to Tracy Jones. Ball one. Jones popped to Mattingly first time up. No score on the top of the third. Very overcast day today. 4th of July. Don't forget, you folks out at the beach, if you get a little disappointed with no sun, come out to the stadium. Plenty of time to see the end of this game and the Beach Boys in concert. And we'll be stomping along with them and singing those old tunes. Runners going and a foul back. That would have been the perfect hit and run. Sachs was already over second on the shortstop side of the bag, and he could have got a ship between first and second if he hit it on the ground.
One of the reasons that catchers wear the helmets now, which is mandatory.
Ooh.
There's a good picture why right there. That bat coming around. That's the second one we've seen today. Jones here in Barfield knocked Heath's glove off earlier in the game.
All right, 1-1. And hit to right field. It's going to be a tough play for Barfield. He makes the catch. Holy cow! And almost gets him at front. Oh, man, this guy. Oh, I'm sure Dave Winfield, if he's watching, would be proud of the way Barfield is playing his territory out there. I didn't think he had a chance to get that, Seaver.
Well, he just simply outran the ball, Scooter. Incredible. Jones hit the ball hard to right field. Barfield, who has struggled with the bat all year long. But it has not let it affect his defense. Two superb defensive plays by Barfield in the game already. And we're just in the top of the third inning.
Oh, I think Schultz is going to take him out to dinner after this game. He keeps it up. Two men are out. No score, top of the third. Very much aware of Mr. Brumley trying to steal. Whitaker beat out that bunt and then was thrown out trying to score from second on a base hit by Freddie Lynn. Strike one. This is when the bench has got to be alert and somebody yell if the runner is going. A lot of times the catcher is blocked out with the left-hand batter up and you can't quite see that runner take that first couple of steps. There's the bench. A lot of guys that can yell over there. And doesn't go, and it's high. 1-1. Look at that. That is the old way. That's the way Gehrig and Ruth and all of them wore their socks. Who was that?
It's going to be Pags, isn't it?
Pags.
Pags got the low cuts.
Oh, man. That's high. 2-1. That is really low. But that's the way they made those socks in those days. We had them back in 41, 42, and you couldn't pull them up. They didn't have the stretch that they have now.
Oh, they're heavy, made of heavy wool.
Yeah,
Everything was made of wool.
Everything was wool. They'd last forever.
Those wool uniforms are great. I loved them. I really loved them.
Did you?
We did this when they modified them and made them not as thick. I'm not talking about the real old, heavy ones. But they made some real nice flannel ones.
Now there's
beautiful.
The new style.
The new socks, yeah. High stirrups, they're called.
3-1.
Those wool uniforms used to breathe very nicely. The new ones, which are polyester,
they don't
breathe at all. I mean, they really get hot, especially on
never wore
artificial surface and stuff. They really get hot.
All 4, trying to be a little careful and worrying a lot about Brumley. He loses Whitaker. First walk given up by Schultze. And that'll bring up Keith Moreland, who singled to left field his first time up. He's going to get that breaking ball over to Moreland with 2 out. Dallas Green, a little edgy. Good breaking pitch, strike 1. Oh, I tell you, he can throw that. He can throw that till he gets real tired and then he'll put somebody else in there.
Well, he's shown that he'll pop the fastball, so you would think most of the hitters are going to go up looking for the fastball. Sure, at least on the first pitch or up to 1 strike.
He wheels, does not throw. Ooh, Espinosa almost got spiked that time. And watch those feet on the bag. Good rising fastball. Ooh, right up and in. Great spot.
There's a pitch that looks like it's going to be good to hit, but see where it ends up? You know, off the plate. Good riding fastball up and in, right at that left elbow.
All right, this is a big strikeout. Big man to strike out. Slow gear and move out there so fast.
Way out there.
Yeah, that's too far.
Boy, in the old days, they'd have gotten you that message from the first base coaching box, wouldn't they?
They'd whistle.
Oh. It just isn't done anymore.
No. All right, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He tried that up and in pitch again, but a little too high up and a little too much in. And it's 2-2.
You saw how far I went outside on the last pitch. The catcher, talking about Bobby Guerin. If you're the hitter, and you either fudge it all, and then on that pitch there, the last one, or he didn't go way outside, where do you think he's going? He's going inside. So where was that pitch? You think that's an advantage for the hitter?
Yes, definitely.
Of course it is. Huge advantage for the hitter.
It definitely is. That pitch was out of the strike zone, but again, with 2 strikes on you, you're swinging pitches that you might not swing at with less than 2 strikes on you. All right, at second base you have Mike Brumley, and at first base Lou Whitaker with 2 men out, no score. We're in the top of the 3rd. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Moreland. Oh, he was lucky to get a piece of that.
Oh, that was a good pitch.
Boy, that was, and he just barely got a piece of it. That went right in the corner of the Yankee dugout. Did it hit somebody the way they're looking down there? Look at that. That was self-defense there.
Just staying alive. You're right, Scooter. Just staying alive.
All right, it's 2-2. Richie working hard. Nope, can't get him to nibble that far outside. 3-2. Now a break for the Tigers in the sense that the runners will be going on 3-2 and 2 out. Big pitch for Schulte in this ball game. There the runners leading away. They go, and he bounces it foul. Have to do it again. Keith Moreland now batting .319. Something. This Moreland is a tough man to strike out. He has only struck out 21 times this year. I think a hard swinger. And he just reaches out and hits one in the air. Who's got it? Okay, Barfield. It looked like Kelly was waiting, and Barfield came out of nowhere and made the catch. Boy, he is all over the field. Nothing across at the end of 2.5. Tigers nothing and the Yankees nothing. How about those stats, Stephen?
Gehrig's RBI total, just incredible.
It is.
You know, it's amazing, 140 plus RBIs
in 8 seasons.
8 seasons. Yeah, I look at those numbers and thinking about facing those 3 and 4 hitters for the Yankees.
Oh, man.
Ruth and Gehrig, and then you say, what do you do if you had to pitch against them? That murderer's row lineup they had in 27.
Unbelievable. Here's Espinosa batting .272, no homers, 18 runs batted in, and Alvaro takes a strike. But what's amazing, every time Gehrig hit the ball, it was a bullet. Whether it was a line drive or a long home run, and his speed, he got the record for stealing home the most times. And lined a base hit to right center. Boy, Espinosa, I'd say that he is really swinging the bat wherever the ball is pitched. He's become a big favorite here, and well, he should. That's the second Yankee hit.
They make a mistake up in the hitting zone. Espy hits the ball hard. You can see that pitch just about letter high, and that's right where he likes it.
All right, that'll bring up Roberto Kelly. And Kelly had 3 base hits yesterday. Roberto had 2. Roberto had 3, and Alvaro had 2. And a bunt. It's a dandy. They'll never get him, and it's going to stay fair. Oh, no, that son of a gun. We've got to get the ground crew to cut that edge a little smaller. I can't believe that was a perfect bunt. The last bounce it hit the edge. I'll tell you, it was such a slow curve that Kelly almost ran into it at first. And then he's able to double hitch on a bunt if he can do such a thing. Watch him lean.
Kelly was very disappointed when he got it down to first base. He knew he'd made a perfect bunt. Couldn't believe that the ball hooked foul at the very last. There's no way they'd have gotten him at first, even if Tennant had been able to feel the ball.
That's right.
It just hit on the edge of that grass, the cut, and
kicked right.
The only play they had was to hope that it would go foul. Good play by Kelly trying to get on with nobody out here.
Inside, 1-1.
It's not what you do, Scooter, on a field. It's when you do it, too.
That's, right.
That's a big part of it.
Big part of it. And the thing, what I liked about Kelly doing it, because if you guess right with a pitcher like that, with that big slow curve, it's a perfect ball of bunt. You can get a head start going towards first. Inside again, 2-1, and it's thrown so softly that you can deaden the ball with your bunt. Get yourself the base hit. At the worst, you move the runner up. 0-4-0 for the Tigers, 0-2-0 for the Yankees. And 4, but it could. Let's see, no, Lemon's going to get there. He hit it off the end of the bat, but it carried. One man out.
Good pitch by Tanana.
Yeah. I mean, he's so big, and he's got that big kick, and the arm back is way out in front.
Well, the important thing here is the 2 previous pitches were fastballs inside, and then comes the little changeup away for the strike. The 2 fastballs were for balls. Here's the changeup in the hitting zone.
Well, see, Seaver appreciates that, knowing how a pitcher
just good
works
pitching.
on. It is. That's why I say how you work on a batter. Batter doesn't appreciate it, though. Now look.
Pat Corrales looking over and getting going. Now wait a minute. Let's have some semblance of toward first base. That's all he wants. That's all Corrales would like over there.
Oh man, if that's not a ball, I swear, he'll pick anybody off with that move. And Sachs tries to bunt and fouls it off. He got a fastball a bunt. You can see the difference when he tried to bunt a fastball.
Sachs trying to bunt it out there between Whitaker and Bergman and the pitcher Tanana, trying to get it into no man's land.
Dallas has moved from that spot, or is he looking at Tanana? He's getting ready maybe to have an argument with the umpire. He's getting closer to that balk move.
Well, he wants to see it, definitely. That's why he's down there.
1 strike, 1 out. Well, that was all right there. He didn't try to be tricky on that one.
You can bet that Dallas will be out of that dugout if, in fact, he feels that there's a balk committed. Espinosa's really going to have a one-way lead down at first base. This will give you another view of it. Now, that foot is supposed to go somewhat toward first base.
Nope. Sachs really not hitting the ball solidly like we know he can. Lemon comes over and makes the catch. 2 men are out.
The reason why that last throw to first base by Tanana was effective, and one of the things that left-handers will try to do, as soon as they throw it, they'll just continue walking right toward first base as if, you know, it's just part of an extension of walking over there.
I think Poloni's going to get mad. Eddie Layton keeps playing Luis when he comes up here. I know it's like Luis, but and again, another bunt attempt. Not too bad. You get that third baseman moving in, and Tanana kind of leery of the bunt. I throw him off. Espinosa definitely not a threat to steal. But he sure got Tanana worried. Espinosa has 1 stolen base, got caught twice. So far, Dallas has not objected to any of those moves.
It's because Espinosa has not been called out yet.
Eating those sunflower seeds. Whoop. 1 step off, and he almost got him.
One of the things that a runner could do here was get out there so far and really take that one-way lead and make him throw over there. That's about as far as they're going to let him go.
All right, 2 balls, no strikes.
The thing about it, if you let a pitcher do that, and he really has the right to do it the entire game exactly like it is.
Sure, that's right.
You can't change it. Kenny Kaiser can't change his mind. Say, well, in the 3rd or 4th or 5th inning, say, well, now, now it's a balk.
All right, you got to be consistent. As you said, they got to be on balls and strikes. And again, a bluff bunt. It's high, 3-0. Well, Polonia might get one of those rare walks that he gets. He's walked just 12 times in 241 at-bats. He's cutting and slashing up there. 3-0, 2 out, no score, bottom of the third. All right, Donovan, you laid that down. I don't think that would have broken a pane of glass if there were a pane of glass. Has not committed a balk this season. How do you like that? Foul back, 3-2. Now Espinosa's got to be careful. He cannot leave too soon. Because he's not trying to steal a base. Now he goes. And a base. Oh, no. I started to say base hits, and then got his glove in the way and deflected it to second. Whitaker throws him out. Well, he's on the ball. Now on the Burger King scoreboard at the end of 3. It's the Tigers nothing and the Yankees nothing.
Make this presentation to Lou Gehrig on behalf of the New York Club. A token of the club's esteem and affection for his long and faithful service. I sincerely hope that Lou will continue to be with the team for a long time to come. And the conclusion.
What a day that was, George, huh?
Oh, boy. And, you know, what was so remarkable about it, there were some planned speeches like that one, but so much of it was just spontaneous, and that's what made it such a very special day for Lou Gehrig, for baseball, for the Yankees, and for the history of the national pastime, really.
Freddie Lynn, Chet Lemon, and Dave Bergman for the Tigers here in the top of the 4th inning. No score at the stadium. This beautiful July 4th day, overcast skies, but not oppressively warm. Kind of a cool breeze. The American flag blowing out above the facade in center field and the outfield. A little bit from left field to right field. Here's a discussion between Kenny Kaiser and Dallas Green talking about the move that Frank Tanana has toward first base, and Kenny telling him why it is, in his opinion, not a balk. Hit hard to right field. Barfield way back, right at the wall. Lynn was way out in front of that ball. That might have been a home run at Tiger Stadium in Detroit with the overhang. That ball was high enough. But here at Yankee Stadium,
that was one of those balls from 2 years ago. They would have said it was a lively ball going to the track. He's off balance, hits it with one hand, and you get burned on a home run by that, and you're the pitcher, you feel sick, right?
Well, that's a pair of strong, that's one strong forearm that a hitter has, that's for sure. Lifted to right field by Chet Lemon, and 2 in a row. Jesse Barfield taking care of him nice and orderly in right field. The Tigers came in today at 31-48. A tough and long year for Sparky Anderson and his Detroit Tigers so far. 7th in the American League East, 14 games behind the Baltimore Orioles. They lost to the Orioles 11-4 last night. Dave Bergman with 2 outs and first pitch swinging. That should be in the seats down the left field side. They lost to the Orioles 11-4 last night in Baltimore, a night game. They left Baltimore Stadium around midnight last night. Got to their hotel about 2:45. By the time they got their suitcases and ready for bed and get some sleep, it was about 3:30, and then a day game here at Yankee Stadium today. One of the quirks in the schedules of Major League Baseball, a night game out of town and a day game in the next town, which they'll be playing with the need of a little sleep. 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Don Schulze pitching very well for the Yanks. Just recalled from Columbus. Evens the count at 2-2. The Yankees have fallen to 2 games under 500. They got back to that 500 mark at 39 and 39, but they've lost a couple. And now 2 under. Off speed, Bergman goes the other way. And Brookins throws him out. So, good job by Schulze. A couple of fly balls and a ground out. The Tigers go 1-2-3, and after 3.5 innings, no score at Yankee Stadium. .162 career triples for Lou Gehrig. Incredible, a man of his size and stockiness. You could see how big his legs were running out that 3-base hit. But he could run extremely well and had a great power hitter as well. And joining us in the booth here, one of the legends. I won't tell you who it is. All you're going to have to do is hear his voice.
A living legend.
A living legend.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. It's nice to be up here with all you legends.
Mel, it's such a great day of memories as you recall the great Lou Gehrig.
Yeah, that was my rookie year. And in fact, it was the first year that they broadcast on a daily basis in New York. It's amazing how much you can learn like that. Pretty good hitter.
Mattingly to right field, his second base hit of the day, 2 for 2, leads off the 4th for the Yanks here with a single. Yankees' 3rd hit of the day. Mattingly has 2 of them.
Not a bad first baseman either, is he?
One of the best I've ever seen. You know, George and Tom, as you all both do, you go around the league and you talk to guys like, let's say, a Rigney, guys that have played back a few years when he first came up, and they were ecstatic about him, and rightly so.
He's lived up to that billing, no question. Mattingly not a threat to run at first base, but we'll see if, in fact, Tanana continues to throw over there. We saw the little clip at the end of the last inning, Kenny Kaiser coming over and talking to Dallas Green about the move that Tanana has. Balboni hard down the left field line, but that'll be in the seats.
I think one of the greatest thrills I ever had when Mattingly won the batting championship. The last day of the year, he and Winfield. And Winfield was ahead of him. And Mattingly had about 4 hits that day. And, you know, when they followed one another in the order, and this crowd went wild, you know.
Of course, you were here for Lou Gehrig Day.
Yes, I was up in that booth, and like everybody else, the thousands that were here, I cried too. It was a very memorable moment. And I say moment in its general sense. Quite obviously, you knew here was this great ball player, and he had this illness, and it was terminal, and he really was saying goodbye, and when he said he was the luckiest guy in the world, all that, you couldn't help but shed tears.
Balboni on an 0-2 pitch, should be 2 for the Tigers. And it is. Kenny Kaiser rings it up. Tigers turn their 69th double play on the infield, and after a Mattingly single, very quickly 2 outs.
The one great thing here, Moreland knows, and so does Whitaker at second, that they've got Balboni running. If it had been anybody but Balboni, they could have avoided the 2, but it gave them chance to get things together and turn the 2.
Barfield's been having a great day, isn't he?
Not bad. Throw some leather at you, doesn't he?
That's what I mean.
You've seen some great ones out in right field, and of course Winfield
was one of the best, but Jesse ranks right up there.
George, somebody downstairs in the press room while we're up happened to be talking about it, that very thing. But going back a few years, I said, well, the guy that threw the hardest was Colavito, but he was Scatterard. But the fellow with the reputation, the most accurate, was Hank Bauer. Tom, it's interesting to me, why are they running on Barfield? As you know, when they know a guy can throw,
early in the game,
they quit running on it.
Early on the game, first inning, they're trying to get on the scoreboard, obviously in the first inning. Barfield hard down the left field line. That'll end up in the corner. Tracy Jones going to play it off a wall, and Jesse's going to have a 2-out double here in the bottom of the fourth for the Yanks. A man in scoring position.
6 years ago, I had another thrill. July 4th, and Dave Righetti pitched a no-hitter against the Red Sox, and last man he got out was Wade Boggs.
And Wade Boggs still hasn't forgotten that moment.
Neither is Dave Righetti.
1983.
He was leading the league in total hits, I remember, 63, but I've forgotten what his average was. It had to be up there, though.
They bring up Tommy Brookins with Jesse Barfield in scoring position. Yankees with their 4th hit in the ball game. No score. Frank Tanana and Don Schultze throwing zeros on the scoreboard so far. Visiting with Mel Allen in the broadcast booth here on this July 4th day in memory of a day 50 years ago, and Lou Gehrig said goodbye at the stadium. Scooter has left us for an inning, but George, we get Mel all to ourselves.
When you say the voice of the Yankees, there is only one, and that's the man sitting next to us.
I wish he were here. I'd say, you know, while that was my rookie year, we were talking about some of our prospects coming up, and you were one of them.
They said right field. Chet Lemon trying to nail down Barfield and never get him, and Tommy Brookins going to end up at second base. The Yankees on the scoreboard lead it 1-0. A good 2-out rally for New York on the double by Barfield, and a little bloop single to right by Tommy Brookins scores Barfield, and the Yankees jump on the board.
Brookins, you'll know, loves every moment of this because he's a former Detroit Tiger. They gave him a standing ovation when he went back to Detroit, and here he has the chance to come through. He gives the Yankees the lead with the base hit to right field, and there's the difference between one right fielder and another.
You see Barfield getting off second, and with 2 outs, he knows that all you got to do is put it in high gear, let it go, George.
I think there's a difference. We had a play in Baltimore where Jesse Barfield, on a ball that was hit the other way, hesitated because he didn't know where the fielders were playing. That time, with 2 out, he's off to the races. He scores there. The one in Baltimore could have been a critical play. Obviously, the Yankees lost by 1 run in that game.
Bobby Guerin pops it up to left field. Good swing, but just hit the bottom half of the ball. But the Yankees, on a couple of hits, come up with the first run of the ball game. They leave 1 after 4 innings of play here at Yankee Stadium. New York 1, Detroit nothing.
When you came to my room in Detroit some time ago, told me that you thought that you were hindering the chances of the ball club by staying in the ball game. That was a day that I never wanted to see.
There was Joe McCarthy, his moment in the story that unfolded on July 4th, 1939. Lou Gehrig Day here at Yankee Stadium 50 years later. Our guest up in the booth is the great Mel Allen. And Mel, you knew Lou personally.
I got to know Lou. I'd like to have known him better. That was the first year of broadcasting in New York with all 3 teams at that time, as I mentioned earlier. But Lou, very early that year, it was on May 2nd, he actually took himself out of the lineup after talking to McCarthy. But he remained, you know, for the rest of the year after going to Mayo Brothers and learned that he had amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, so broken bat.
Heath Espinosa 1 out for Detroit here on the top of the 5th. Yankees lead it 1-0.
I was sitting on the bench, Tom, one day, and you got to, I hope you appreciate this. Every once in a while, Lou would come out. He was working for Mail LaGuardia in 1940, and the word came down, somebody chauffeured him up, Lou's here. And after this pitch, you could hear him coming down the runway. In those days, the Yankees dugout was back of third. They had a common runway, and the two clubhouses were back of third base. And when he made his, you could hear him shuffle. It's a progressive paralysis type of thing. But they greeted him, hey, Cap, It made him feel really great. But they had to all go out for infield practice. And McCarthy, I'll see you later, Lou. He went into the clubhouse. Now, all of a sudden, I'm left alone with him, and he looked over at me, and he patted me on the thigh, and he said, Mel, I never got to listen to your ball games because I was playing. And he said, now, outside of my family and some personal things, those ball games are the only thing keep me alive. And I said, gee, I got to go upstairs. And I ran down the runway and bawled like a baby. You couldn't help it. I'd have done that for Seaver when he won his 300th game.
Wow. Mike Brumley hit the ball hard down to Don Mattingly. A good play by the Golden Glover. And Schultz at the bag right on time. There are 2 outs for Detroit here. Heath grounded out to lead off the inning. And now 3-1 if you're scoring for Mike Brumley. And that turns the lineup over. We go back to the top. And Scott Lusader, the center fielder for the Tigers, struck out leading off the game. And a fly-out victim in the 3rd inning. A very free swinger. Lusader came in hitting .256. 0 for 2 on the day. Yankees lead it here in the top of the 5th inning. They scored a run in the bottom of the 4th and lead it 1-0.
Mel, people talk about Lou as being the great gentleman, but what a competitor, what a fiery competitor. People don't realize he was thrown out of 6 games for arguing with umpires. He had temper, didn't he?
He did, but that's what made him, such a great competitor, so aggressive. And yet he always played in the shadow of somebody. You fellas know these stories, and a lot of fans listening in do too, but he had 4 consecutive homers in the headline next day. John McGraw resigns as manager of the Giants. He also lost a home run championship because Len Larry was on at first base, 2 outs. He takes off, and Lou hits his high liner. It went into the right field seats, but it hit the seats, hit the back, spun up in the air, and as Larry looked over his shoulder going towards third, he saw the outfielder catching the ball, which had ricocheted out on the field. So he kept on running across third base and in the dugout. Lou was giving it the home run shot. The Trot didn't see it. The guy who was coaching at third was Joe McCarthy. And they say that's the last time he ever coached. I wasn't here, but the one thing that I got a kick out of, they talk about Ruth hitting that home run in the World Series, pointing that when he crossed home plate, he said to Lou, you do the same thing, kid, and he did. But you don't hear about that, and that's the story of Lou Gehrig.
And his career, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right.
Don Schultz walks Scott Lusader. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. The second base on balls that Schultz has given up today. Schultz had retired 6 in a row. So the Tigers have a 2-out base runner. Lusader, good speed and always a base stealing threat. Tigers need a run to tie it up here as the Yanks lead it 1-0. Tracy Jones on the first pitch, and Espinosa just does get him.
Mel, thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Tigers,
it's a real pleasure.
Tigers get a base runner, but the Yankees are leading it 1-0. And as we take a break here after 4.5 innings, you're taking a look at Wally Pipp, the man that Lou Gehrig replaced at first base.
Tuesday at 8 on Channel 11.
We got a couple of famous twosomes on Channel 11, like Oscar and Felix, Ralph and Alice, and Sam and Diane. Get twice the laughs on Cheers. Weeknights at 7 and 11 on Channel 11.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and WPIX and is intended for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game or any segment thereof without the written consent of the Yankees is prohibited. Back at Yankee Stadium, another look at that play at second base. Espinosa looks like he's cruising to second. Scott Lusader pops up saying, "I beat him there."
Umpire at second base Larry Young says, no, you can see how close it was, and it should not have been that close. Tracy Jones on the very first pitch had a nice little two-hopper to Espinosa, and he gets a force out, but on very close play and a good hustling Scott Lusader going into second. Espinosa, Kelly, and Sachs here for the Yanks in the bottom of the fifth as they lead it 1-0. Espinosa going after the first pitch. Espy singled his first time up in the third inning. Has his average up to 276. No home runs, 18 RBIs. On top of that 276, a very solid shortstop. A real fine. I'm telling you, the number 8, number 9 players in this Yankee lineup have been nothing short of marvelous this year. Espinosa and Kelly. Espinosa at 272 coming into today, and Kelly coming in at 320 for a batting average.
In fact, Espinosa against the Tigers this year is now 5 for 14. He had the couple of days off as Dallas Green tried to give Wayne Tallison a chance to get in the lineup and see some regular play. It wasn't so much there's anything wrong with Espinosa. They just wanted to give Tallison a chance to get into a groove. He hasn't really had a chance to play for 2 or 3 days in a row all season.
On a 1-2 pitch, right to Whitaker. And it went out for the Yankees. Good hustle by Espinosa going down the line. One of the important things, George, is getting some playing time for your guys that are on the bench. They have to see the ball, too.
Time for today's trivia question. Since Lou Gehrig's retirement, which Yankee has played the most games at first base? Again, since Lou Gehrig's retirement, which Yankee has played the most games at first base?
One out here in the bottom of the fourth. Roberto Kelly, the Yankee center fielder, flew out to right field his first time up in the third. I think 350 since he came off the disabled list. Way out in front of that off-speed pitch from Frank Tanana. Tanana, a 16-year veteran. He's won 195 games in the big leagues, closing in on 200. He's lost 181. Had his great years with the California Angels back in the mid-70s. He and Nolan Ryan teaming together. In 76, he was 19-10, and 78, he was 18-12. And a bunch of innings pitched and a bunch of strikeouts. And he could get it up there with just about anybody. 1975, he was 16-9. Pitched 257 innings and struck out 269. He struck out over 2,000 hitters in his career. Hit hard to center field, right on the nose. Will Lusader have a play? Yes, he does. The wind knocks that ball down. Kelly hit that ball right on the nose, but the wind blowing in from left field to right, or the right field line, knocked that ball down. I thought that ball had a chance when Kelly hit it.
You mentioned earlier about Mattingly just missing a couple. Kelly hits this one, but if you look closely here, you see his weight is out in front, and he just misses this one a little bit too. And Lusader can go get him, so he got in position early and was there to make the catch. That wind cut down at least 8-10 feet of that one.
408 feet here at Yankee Stadium, straightaway center field. Brings up Steve Sachs with 2 outs. And a fastball inside. Not many fastballs for strikes on the inside part of the plate from Tanana. But he will throw the fastball off of the plate inside. That's what makes him so effective with his off-speed away.
When he threw BBs, he still threw inside.
Yep.
He was dangerous.
And he learned how effective that can be, and it's especially off speed. He learned how effective that can be. That hard stuff in makes your soft stuff away effective, and that's basically how he pitches. Hard in, soft away. And he'll throw some hard up at the top of the strike zone and then soft down. Sachs 0 for 2 on the day. Little tapper out in front of the plate, and then a fly ball to right field. Little cheer for a paper airplane that has made it into the playing area. That boy picks it up from Tanana. Hank Tanana was born in Detroit, Michigan. And he has returned home to play for the Tigers. 6'3", 195 pounds. His 5th year with Detroit. Hit hard in right side and right in the hole between Whitaker and Bergman, and Sachs is on with a 2-out single here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and I guarantee you'll see some throws to first base here. Sachs has stolen 22 out of 30, and with 2 outs, you would think that a steal might be on.
And as Louis Polonius steps into the batter's box, Pat Corrales isn't giving up his verbal bantering with Ken Kaiser. He said, now watch him closely. They've been going back and forth all day.
Kaiser, the umpire, at first base. Larry Young at second. John Shulock at third. Jim McKeon behind the plate. Polonia didn't like any part of that curveball first pitch thrown. There's another one.
Update on the scoreboard for you, Tom. At Houston, scoring update. A balk by Kevin Tepani allowed Billy Hatcher to score. The situation there, 8 runs in for Houston. A man on third with 2 out in the bottom of the 1st inning. Houston 8.
In the 1st inning?
1st inning. Oh.
Corrales, after the throw by Tanana to first, looks right over at Kaiser. Number 47, Patrick Corrales, a product of Fresno High School.
And, of course, a part of the Detroit organization prior to coming back to New York and Cleveland, Detroit, minor league.
Cincinnati.
Around.
Yep, he made the rounds. A tough-nosed cookie. He was some football player in high school, too.
When you look at a pitcher thrown over to first, it's interesting, the philosophy. Some pitchers just throw over there, but the good ones throw over with intent and with a plan, and Tanana's a good one. He knows what he's doing out there.
That's exactly what he's doing. Now, that one is really over there. Is Dallas Green, which end of the dugout is he on? No, he's down at this end. He has made his point with Kenny Kaiser, the umpire at first base. He was down there a couple innings ago when Espinosa was on first base, taking a good close look at Tanana's move to first, but he's moved back down to his normal position in the dugout. Polonia pops it straight up. Tanana calling, Bergman calling. It'll be Bergman. Tanana would have loved to take that pop up, but they call him off. Well, the Yankees get a base hit and they leave one. No runs on the scoreboard, but they do lead this ball game 1-0 after 5 innings over the Detroit Tigers.
Because I never thought that I would, that is, the time would come when you and I would, well, we're not going to part.
Wow, what a tough day. That's the second part of Joe McCarthy's speech, and you could tell the emotion that he was gripped with there, George.
You read the accounts of that day, and we mentioned earlier that it was a spontaneous day where McCarthy got up, Babe Ruth got up, and they both spoke, and they were really very uncomfortable to start with, because here was one of the greatest Yankees of all time, being honored, but at the same time, they knew he was ill. They knew he would not be with the ball club, and they didn't know what the future would hold. So they were all uncomfortable as they stepped to the microphone, and they all dealt with it in different ways. McCarthy had the most difficulty on that day. Babe Ruth, being the joker and the comedian that he was able to deflect some of that emotion, but people that covered it said you could see the emotion on his face.
Lou Whitaker, the leadoff hitter for the Tigers here in the 6th inning. Whitaker, a leadoff single, his second base hit of the day. He had a drag bunt, 2-out drag bunt single in the 1st inning. The Yankees letting the potential tying run on as they lead this game 1-0 here in the top of the 6th inning.
Billy Connors, the pitching coach, checking with the bullpen, and as he hangs up the phone, Guterman gets up, starts to loosen up in the Yankee bullpen.
It brings up Keith Moreland. One for 2 on the day. There you see Lee Guterman and John Stearns, number 44, the bullpen coach, and the rest of the crew in the Yankee bullpen. You can see John looking up at a piece of paper down there. He'll be checking the hitters. He has the lineup card down there. You can see him there making notations. He has the lineup, and you can tell Lee Guterman who's coming up, who he might be facing, who they have on the bench, all the information that the relief pitcher will need coming out of the bullpen. Little housekeeping and paperwork that the bullpen catcher John Stearns does on a regular basis in the bullpen. A ball, no strikes on Keith Moreland. He came in hitting .316, 5 home runs, 33 RBIs. At base hit, 1 for 2 is boosted him to .318. There you see the man that pitched the no-hitter against the Boston Red Sox. Over in the corner, Dave Righetti.
He still has a couple of innings before he has to worry about loosening up and getting ready.
Tigers shut out so far on 5 hits by Don Schultze. The Yankees 1 run on 6 hits. We're in the top of the 6th inning here on this July 4th celebration day, Independence Day. Whitaker goes. Moreland pops it up on the infield. Whitaker retreats on the hit and run. Moreland pops it to Sachs.
Designated hitters.
And they're 1 out for the Tigers here in the top of the 6th.
Island, when he came up with the big pitches he needed in his first start, and so did Parker when he came up. And in this day, so far, Schultze's come up with the key pitches when he's needed it.
He has made good pitches. He has not been afraid to use his fastball on the inside part of the plate. He's gotten his off-speed pitches over. Freddie Lynn, who hit the ball hard in the 1st inning, as the Tigers try to get their first run of the ball game, only to have Jesse Barfield come out with a great play, throwing a perfect strike to home and nailing Lou Whitaker, who tried to score from first base. Barfield has played a beautiful defensive game in right field today so far for the Yanks. In the 4th inning, Lynn hit a ball right to the wall. The warning track, got way out ahead and hit the ball hard, but right to the warning track, and just not enough to carry out for, what was it that time, the first out in the 4th inning. Freddie Lynn, a product of the University of Southern California, another one of Rod Dato's Bobos, one of the many that he has put into the big leagues. His 16th year in the big leagues. Hit hard on the ground, right in the hole. A breaking ball left in the middle of the plate. And Freddie Lynn has his 2nd base hit of the day. And the Tigers have runners at 1st and 2nd with Chet Lemon coming to the plate.
Lynn is 2 for 3 as a designated hitter today, and he has just been so comfortable with the DH role during the course of this year. In 20 games, this is his 20th game as a DHer this year. He's hitting over 300, hitting about 320. Now 21 for 64 as a designated hitter this year. There you see Billy Connors again looking to the bullpen to see how Guterman is doing and getting a sign from John Stearns. Guterman is one of those pitchers who does not need a lot of time to get ready. He can loosen up pretty rapidly, and that really has a lot to do with how the bullpen coach, Stearns, or how, for that matter, Connors deals with it.
So the Tigers with a rally going here in the top of the 6th. Whitaker at second. Lynn at first. Lemon at the plate. 3 veterans here for Sparky Anderson. The Detroit Tigers at work now. Steve Stax trying to sneak in behind Lou Whitaker.
Looking ahead, if they don't get the double play here, the next batter, Bergman, is the left-hander. That's where you may see Guterman, and then after that comes Heath with, of course, remember, the Tigers have Alan Trammell available today to pinch hit, although his back still is subpar.
Probably not playing because of the travel that they had last night, getting in from Baltimore. As we said, the ball club left Baltimore last night after losing to the Orioles in Baltimore. They didn't leave the ballpark until 12 o'clock. Got to their hotel about 3 o'clock and then have a day game here today. So Trammell probably getting the day off. Should be 2. Sachs, Espinosa, Mattingly, and the Yankees turn it. Number 72 on the infield. Fine double play combination, and Don Schultze induces a double play ball from Chet Lemon. Works out of a jam here in the 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Yankees still lead this one 1-0. Lou Gehrig still home 15 times in his career. Tops of all the Yankees. And what's memorable about that shot, did you see after sliding into the catcher? Catcher looked like he got hit by a freight train.
Truck. Yeah, Babe Ruth also stole home 10 times. People forget about those statistics surrounding 2 great Hall of Famers, not just Yankee Hall of Famers, but baseball Hall of Famers.
One man that, if he keeps it up, certainly will be going to the Hall of Fame. Don Mattingly having another great year. 2 times to the plate, 2 singles, and customarily takes that first pitch. Just to take a look. One ball, 1 strike to Mattingly, leading off the bottom of the 6th for the Yanks. A pitcher's duel in progress. Frank Tanana for the Tigers, and Don Schultze, just recently recalled from Columbus for the Yanks, filling in on this Yankee pitching staff. Mattingly going up after a pitch down in the strike zone. May have been ball 2. Pops it up to shortstop. No 1 out for the Yanks.
You know, this is a very busy day today, and it's a day when we get to see the Seaver clan at Yankee Stadium,
There
too.
is the Seaver family.
Come on in, Annie.
Let's see. This is Annie Seaver here. Yeah, that's my little 11-year-old. Oh, I'm sorry, 13. That's right, I forgot.
Behind Annie is Nancy.
There's the... and there's Sarah Seaver. Her friend Kira. Sarah just about ready to go off to, I'm not going to tell Rod Dato this. She's not going to USC. She's just about to go off to Boston College next year. Her first year at college. Who John Moore, our producer, down in the equipment room, that's where John Moore went to school. So in one sense, we're keeping it in the family here.
They're still waiting for him to pay off his loan up there.
These are my girls, George. I live in a sorority house.
You've done pretty well, Tom.
You know those movies you go in with the nylons hanging over the shower curtain and stuff? That's where I live. Balboni rips it between Mike Brumley and Keith Moreland for his first base hit of the day, and Steve is on first. 1 out for the Yanks here in the bottom of the 6th. A lot going on today. We got Family Day. We got Scooter with an American flag in his shirt pocket. We've had Mel Allen, we've had Lou Gehrig.
And still to come, we got the Beach Boys coming up a little bit later on.
Is that any indication of why these girls are here?
They're here. They left their surfboards downstairs. Couldn't get them up in the elevator.
A lot of action here in the Channel 11 Yankee booth. I'll tell you that today. It has been a busy day. Julio has some of his relatives here today. He's not even listening to me over there. Jesse Barfield, Yankee hitter. Balboni on first. Bergman placed behind Balboni, who Steve is not known for his speed, known for his power. You can see Bergman backing up. Off speed by Tanana, and the count is a ball and a strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Jesse came in hitting .228 on the year. And a 4th inning double has his average up to .230. Hitting better than .241 with the Yankees. Good fastball inside. Boy, you look for soft stuff away. The fastball inside will remind you of the 1975 Frank Tanana fastball. It's amazing what change of speeds can do. And that is a pitch. Jesse Barfield likes the ball from the middle in. But when he's looking from the middle out, looking for soft speed stuff, that just looks like a Nolan Ryan or an old Frank Tanana fastball.
Frank Tanana says it. He really didn't know how to pitch when he could throw heat, and he's had to learn how to pitch to remain a major leaguer, and he's one of the few major leaguers around that has pitched 3,000 innings and is within 5 victories of 200. So he's learned his craft well.
Well, he has been in double figures in wins for Detroit the last 4 years. He came over from Texas to the Tigers in '85, won 10 games, and then he won 12, 15, and 14 in 3 successive years after that, and chalks Jesse Barfield up on that fastball inside that just absolutely locks Jesse Barfield up. Jesse just in between, caught in between the hard stuff and the soft stuff, and a pitch he likes to hit, George. He didn't even offer at it.
All of a sudden, an 86-mile-per-hour fastball looks like a 96-mile-per-hour fastball.
So the first strikeout for the crafty left-hander, Frank Tanana. Second out for the Yanks here, but they lead it in the bottom of the 6th, 1-0.
We talk about his transition as a pitcher, but even more impressive is his transition as a person. He was one of the traditional fast livers in baseball, but became born-again Christian and really dedicated his life to helping people in the last few years.
Tommy Brookins, who drove in the lone Yankee run in the 4th inning with a single. He knocked in Jesse Barfield. A good 2-out rally in that 4th inning. Mattingly led off the inning with a single and then a double play ball by Balboni, and then with 2 outs, a double by Barfield and the single by Brookins. A good 2-out rally for the Yanks to put their run on the board. There's that inside fastball again. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
When Tom Brookins got to Detroit and went out for batting practice, 2 of the first athletes that were out to greet him, one was Jack Morris. Morris still trying to work his arm back into shape. The other was Frank Tanana, and they were out by first base John for about 10-15 minutes and reminiscing about their days in Detroit.
Brookins down to Moreland. He'll go the short way over to Whitaker at second for the force play, and nothing going for the Yanks here in the bottom of the 6th. They get a base hit. They leave 1. And on the 9X scoreboard, the score at the end of 6 is the Yankees 1, the Tigers nothing.
Hard to believe, 19,000 putouts, and that's an unbelievable figure. He, of course, holds the American League record, and the Scooter rejoins us. You talk about Lou Gehrig, the statistics are one thing, but the mystique and the history are just unbelievable, Scooter.
There's no way you can explain it. I mean, because the more you read his statistics, the more amazing it gets.
Dave Bergman in against Don Schultze, and Schultze can thank a 4-6-3 double play in the 6th inning for keeping him alive. Lemon hit into it, and had he not hit into that double play, the chances are they would have gone to the left-hander, Guterman, to face Bergman. Instead, Schultze lives for another inning, and he's looked impressive so far, Scooter.
Oh, I tell you, there have been 3 great defensive plays behind him, 2 by Barfield that saved him runs, and that last double play. But he, in between, he's pitched outstanding baseball.
He came up with a fastball, slider, changeup reputation. He's gone mostly with the fastball and the slider today, and has had command. Has given up only 6 hits now into the 7th inning. That one nips the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We have been very fortunate today to have the beauty of the Seabrook.
Oh, yes. About time he brought them up here.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Dave Bergman. Schultze delivers inside. Bergman on the day struck out in the 2nd inning, bounced to 3rd in the 4th inning. 0 for 2. Hit hard, but Mattingly is right there.
Well, I tell you, I don't know how he fields them so cleanly when they hit that hard.
We've seen him make 2 quote-unquote routine plays, but they were both bad hops and still came up with them today.
Yep. I mean, this one's hit like a bullet, and it hugs the ground for a while. Takes a little bad hop right at the end. Right there, and he's with it. And he says, I'll take it myself. No extra throws. Another can of corn.
Billy Connors to the dugout, to the bullpen, as John Stearns gets up, and Guterman will get up and loose him again.
Well, I tell you, Schultze's gone above and beyond the call of duty so far in this game, being called up from Columbus.
He's gone to a lot of 2-2.
All right. And look at, he said, oh, all right, take that camera off him. Look at.
Can you read lips?
Yes. Ken Kaiser goes. We're going to watch this. He definitely went around. Watch the head of the bat right there. See, that's enough. But Kaiser gave it. He's got a little short left arm swing when he calls a guy out or a strike.
Scooter, Mike Heath is one of those ball players.
Oh, let's look at this.
There it is.
You're out. And then Heath yelled at him.
When he's on your side, you love him. When he's on the opposition, you hate him, right?
Oh, yeah.
The former Yankee was a shortstop early in his career, and they switched him to catcher. And now he is caught in 22 straight games since Noakes was injured.
He's a hard-nosed player. Always has been.
Count stays at 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. The Yankees 1 run, 7 hits, no errors. The Tigers no runs, 6 hits, and no errors. It's Lou Gehrig Day, the anniversary of Lou Gehrig Day back in July the 4th of 1939. We're reliving some of his great moments during the course of today's broadcast. Still to come, we're going to be hearing from Babe Ruth. We're going to be hearing from, of course, the Iron Horse himself, as we relive some of the filmed segments of that great day 50 years ago.
I said they've been great. You talk about bringing back memories.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out.
Whoa!
He gets him, and the bat goes down to
fair ball.
3rd.
Fair bat.
Fair bat.
1939. Well, I was 22 years old then. I was with Kansas City. We look at this. He really had him fooled. Second time Heath has thrown the bat.
And that's the 4th strikeout for Schultze on the day. That'll bring up Mike Brumley. Brumley reached on a bunt hit in the 3rd inning, and then was out on an outstanding play by Mattingly in the 5th inning. Foul back, 1-1.
See the mark across the forehead of Mike Heath. That mask. He also got whacked with a foul tip that drove the mask back onto his head.
Foul back and out of play. You remember that brawl that he was involved in when he first came up in the 70s?
Which one? Which one?
Against California Angels, wasn't it? When he first came up, Billy was the manager.
Yes. Oh, man.
He has always been a spark plug ball player. 1-2 to Brumley now. Just got a piece of that one, and Schultz thought he had him.
And Schultz, it's amazing in this heat and humidity to have pitched such outstanding baseball. I mean, he's got good stuff yet. He's got sharp slider, the fastball that rides up and in, a little bit of a sinker when he gets it down.
And he'll use that changeup against the left-handers. He doesn't use it often. He throws about 50% fastball, 40% slider, and 10% changeup. In the minors, he won his last 5 and had an earned run average of 1.67 during that stretch, and he's picked up right where he left off at Columbus so far today. Hit weakly to short. Espinosa over to Mattingly. So we'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees 1 run, 7 hits, and no errors. The Tigers 6-0.
But I was talking to Tony a few minutes ago when we were standing out in the pitcher's box. I said, holy smokes here, Tony. There's 13 of us here. He says, no big grass just at the clubhouse. He said, but what of it? He says, we only need 9 and we can beat them.
The great Babe Ruth.
Yep, and he's telling Lou Gehrig that they only needed 9 men to beat any team around. And those 27 Yankees were something. 39 Yankees weren't too shabby either.
Not bad at all. And when he referred to Tony, of course, he was talking about Tony Lazzeri.
Yep. Tony push him up Lazzeri. I'd say they had some great talent, great names. What do you have? 11 RBIs in one game, I think. One game.
Bob Guerin stepping in against Frank Tanana. He's 0 for 2 on this day. Lined out to third. And flied out. Dumps this one down. Tanana will get a hand on it. No glove, no throw. And Guerin's sitting at first. He's done it again.
He's done it again. We've seen him beat out, but they don't expect it. That time he got a break when Tanana fell down. But still, it was a good bunt for a big guy like that. And we mentioned earlier that it's good to bunt against Tanana. He throws a lot of change of paces and curves. But he slipped on his knees and couldn't grab the ball barehanded.
It's a good play also because Moreland is not one of the fastest third basemen in the league and coming in to field those bunts. So even if Tanana can't get it, the chances of Moreland coming up with the play aren't great either. So the Yankees lead at 1-0 and they get the leadoff hitter on here in the 7th inning. That'll bring up Espinosa. He singled to center and then grounded out to short.
He leads the Yankees in sacrifice bunts. And he's also an excellent hit and run man, but right now I'd have to think he's sacrificing to get that little insurance run.
Heath keeps it in front of him as it's in the dirt. Tanana wants another baseball.
And if you keep an eye on Espinosa, you'll see why he is such a good bunter and is so successful at sacrificing. He's got soft hands. He's got 12 sacrifice bunts. The next closest to him has 3.
Tanana, that's low, ball 2.
And that's an important part of bunting is being able to take pitches that are not near the strike zone. The only time you have to sacrifice really yourself, we look at Lee Elia giving signs, is if it's a squeeze bunt, then you got to bunt it no matter where it is. But this really puts the pitcher deeper in a hole when you can take those pitches.
And also the chess match that's going on here is that Tanana's trying to get him to bunt the ball to third because he's got Bergman holding the runner on at first. And Espinosa manages to get it to the first base side, and he succeeds in the sacrifice as Whitaker covers at first.
Well, that's pretty to watch, I tell you. And soft hands is so important. Goes 1 to 4, but that's the 13th sacrifice for Espinosa. Now watch this. He stands. He doesn't move till he bunts the ball. And you see him draw the bat back just about an inch. Ball is softly bunted.
They say you have to have soft hands to play short, but you also have to have it to execute that play.
Absolutely. Little things in the game that keep you in the game and win your ball games.
Roberto Kelly steps to the plate. Over 2-2 fly ball.
Excuse me, the Latin American ball players, of course they play all year round, and they are more adept at bunting, hit and running, fielding and throwing than the kids in America because they don't.
You hit the nail right on the head. They play. That's the simple reason. If you're playing basketball and you're in New York City and you play every day, if you play baseball in the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, if you play hockey and you're from Minnesota, you have to play a lot.
That's right. That's the whole thing. So it's second nature to you. Every play you have to do.
This game is mental as well as physical, and thinking baseball is just as important as
very.
physical.
Oh, it's such a great point.
No balls, 2 strikes to Kelly with Guerin at second. Yankees lead at 1-0, bottom of inning number 7 at Yankee Stadium. Tanana inside 1-2, and there's another example of the Frank Tanana pattern. Push you back from the plate a little bit, especially when you're ahead 0-2.
He had to become a smart pitcher, as hard as he could throw and sharply as he could break curveballs, and then hurt his arm and change his whole pitching style and still be successful.
Doyle Alexander, Bert Blyleven, Russell, Royce, and Ryan, the only 200 victory active pitchers right now, and this man could join them.
You scared me.
5 more victories.
You scared me when you said it, because you mentioned all those guys who were powder puff throwers, and then you mentioned Ryan. But then you clarified it by saying what you did. But
Ryan's the only one that's gotten there with heat, huh?
Yep, absolutely.
2-2, Tanana to Roberto Kelly. Jammed him, fouled off and out of play to the right side. Good crowd on hand here at Yankee Stadium. And don't forget, still to come today, it'll be a Beach Boys concert after this game. So if you're in the neighborhood, stop by. About a half an hour after the game's over, the Beach Boys will be playing. Scooter will be waiting for his opportunity to hear his favorite, which is...
they don't play Surfing Safari, I'm leaving.
They will. We've already sent the word. You know, Steve Sachs is going to play the drums.
No.
Yep, he is. He's going to sit in.
All right.
2-2 to Kelly. Fouled off at the plate. Just got a piece of it.
I have to mention why I giggled a little before while we were talking, but John Moore, who was so clever, you know, a lot of quotes come out, Yogi quotes, and we were talking about how much mental percentage is in baseball. And John remembered this quote by Yogi. He says, yes, 90% mental, and no, 90% half mental. Yogi had him.
There's Guerin at second. Tanana, 2-2 to Kelly. Hit hard, left field line, but foul. Didn't get that one. Get up and go inside enough. Kelly around on it, but again, that's part of Tanana's philosophy. He'll let you foul that one off.
Yep. There are a lot of pitchers. Letty Lopez used to get 2 quick strikes on these power hitters. Pitch him inside, let him hit foul home runs 9 miles. You know, with Schultz pitching this outstanding ball game, it could give ideas to why couldn't they bring the whole Albany pitching staff up here for a week, send the Yankee pitching staff down there.
Well, you know, there was some discussion, I'm sure. You look at that pitching staff they have in Albany. You got Rodney Imes, who won his 13th yesterday. And the question was, if you're looking for maybe the best athlete to come up, Imes was the one, but I'm sure they wanted someone who wouldn't be pushed by the pressure of this day.
Yeah.
2-2 to Kelly. This time he does get it, and there's 2 outs.
No, I don't mean just for today.
Imes, I think, is a man of the... You know, the other part of it, too, is he's in Double-A. He's got a ways to come, and maybe you want to let him get comfortable and then bring him up to the Triple-A. But I'll tell you, if things do not turn around, and we are at the halfway point, game number 81, and the starting rotation is still a big question mark for Dallas Green.
I'll say they're going to put Sachs on and pitch to Polonia, and I don't believe Polonia is going to hit. At least
I think we'll see him.
He has looked really bad against the left-hander yesterday and today. Polonia kind of feels like they might call him back. He keeps got one eye in the dugout and one eye on home plate. Yeah, look at Slaughter with the helmet and the bat.
You know, while we talk about the pitching staff, Scooter, you know, word is John Candelaria has been, now he's in his 2nd week of rehab, and as Sachs goes to first, Slaughter does come out, and Polonia will go back to the dugout, and Slaughter will be the pinch hitter. But Candelaria has been working out for 2 weeks, but the feeling is if he comes back, it probably won't be till August. Ryan Guidry has a decision this week. July the 7th was the date that they had agreed upon to make a decision on his future. He hasn't pitched well the last couple
I know it. There was a little talk he might be the pitcher today, but that did not materialize.
Carey has just been sent down for a 20-day rehab, and the feeling is they're going to move him into the starting rotation down there to get him used to being a starter. So if he comes back, it would probably be as a starter.
It's tough. It's tough. But when I said now that kid you were just talking about down in Albany,
Rodney Imes,
it might be worth a gamble to bring him up one day just to put him in one game, pick the perfect spot, the weakest team that they might be playing, just to see, get his feet wet, then bring him back, send him back down to Albany. Oh, look at that. He's got almost like one of those bowling gloves on with a special metal protection there to keep you from getting whacked, it looks like.
And on the inside of that left wrist, which had been injured for Mike Heath. He's been battered as the catcher for the Tigers in years past. So you got Sachs on first, Guerin on second, 2 outs. Slaught pinch hitting for Polonia. Hit high to short. Moreland cuts it off. The throw. They get him. And Bergman looks like he may have pulled a muscle as he made that stretch. But the Tigers get out of trouble. The Yankees leave 2. The score at the end of 7. Yankees 1, Tigers nothing. We're now going to pause for station identification.
And I know Lou is going to keep that stiff upper lip, and he's going to keep on going. And baseball need him, and I think he'll stay in there. What I should think Lou would do, I don't know if the club is going to consider it or not, but my idea is to let Lou go up into the mountains. I saw a fishing rod here a minute ago.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that, Scooter, is that when the Babe got up to speak, it was after Lou Gehrig had just concluded his speech, and everyone was somewhat deflated because of the emotion of having Lou say goodbye. And then Babe got up and kind of brought everybody back.
He did. That was a great speech. Yep. I mean, he was really great. Ad-libbing and a little bit off the wall, but a great man to have around.
Back at the stadium, we've got a new man hanging around for the Yankees around the mound, and that is Lee Guterman. Guterman is the new Yankee pitcher as Schultze goes 7 impressive innings. For Guterman, he pitched 1 2/3, and he pitched the 9th inning rather, and the other night, and brings a 1-1 record with a 1.97 earned run average in. 48 hits in 50 innings and 25 strikeouts. He's walked only 10, and he has been superb most of the time out against the American League this year. One of the days of difficulty he had, of course, was in Detroit against this Tiger team, and as a lead escaped the Yankees in the 9th inning. Change for the Yankees with Polonia being lifted for the pinch hitter. Mel Hall goes to left field. Left-hand hitter also, as well as Polonia, so the feeling of Dallas Green obviously is that they'll probably switch pitchers too. And Gary Pettis will pinch hit here for Scott Lusader and probably stay in the game at center field. Pettis, of course, from the California Angels in the last couple of years with this Detroit team, has some speed, can bunt the ball, and he can run.
You don't want to let this guy get on base. Not that he hits that much, but if he gets on, he can steal the bases.
We're in the top of the 8th. Yankees 1, Tigers nothing. Guterman to Pettis. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pettis has always been one of the best defensive outfielders in all of baseball. Has never hit very well, but his defense has kept him in the game.
Yes.
Up the middle, Guterman right there. Sounded like a broken bat.
Yes, he did.
By the way, Scooter, Lou Gehrig, the Iron Man of baseball, was forced to quit the game he loved because of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, the disease that took his name and his life. This year, to help unravel the mystery of this fatal disease, the ALS Association and Major League Baseball are teaming up in a 50th anniversary tribute to Gehrig. Help strike out ALS. For more information or to pledge your support, call 1-900-226-1100. There's a per minute charge for the call, with a portion of the proceeds going to the ALS Association for research.
In those days, it was very difficult to diagnose what Gehrig had.
Tracy Jones rips on this one on a 1-0 pitch, but Roberto Kelly is there at the 1. And there's 2 down.
Little scary right there. Ball hit well over 400 feet.
Jones is 0 for 4, but he gave that one a ride.
He was also robbed of a double by a great sliding catch by Jesse Barfield back in the 3rd inning.
And time for today's trivia question and answer, Scooter. Since Lou Gehrig's retirement, which Yankees played the most games at first base? The most games at first base. Your guess?
Mike, and it is strictly a guess, would be the Moose.
You're right.
No.
You're right. And
You got to be kidding. Was the answer on there?
You didn't even. We had to tell everybody he didn't look at the screen.
I swear I didn't. I had no idea. They've had so many first basemen since Gehrig. So many.
Over 900 games at first base for the Moose. He still has the crew cut. Still looks great.
Oh yeah.
What a tremendous man. Lou Whitaker, a couple of hits. 2-0 pitch is outside ball 3.
This man's going to be there for a long, long time. Although it's hard to tell. He would be. I mean, he'll be there if he wants to be there.
Oh, wait. You trying to get a little controversy going here?
No. But you know, very few ball players now, when their term is up and they are free agents, stick around with the same club that they've been with. You never know what's going to happen.
There are very few men like Don Mattingly, though, too.
Oh, yes.
He's a throwback. He could have played with Gehrig. He could have played with you on your Yankee team.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
So Guterman, 4 straight balls, and Whitaker is on at first base. And that'll bring up Keith Moreland. So now the left-right battle in favor of the Tigers with Moreland up, and then he'll be followed by Fred Lynn, a left-handed hitter. Lemon scheduled up, a right-handed hitter, then Bergman, another left-hander. Yankees lead at 1-0, top of the 8th inning. 2 outs. Whitaker on first. There's a strike. Whitaker, of course, in his career has been a stolen base threat, but with the knee injury this year and with the problems that he's had physically, he's only attempted 5 steals. He's 3 for 5. Espinosa winging wide, and it goes under his glove, and Whitaker will go all the way to third. It took a skip hop, and Espinosa just lost control of the play.
He was looking for the ball to come up, and it stayed down a little bit, and it's unusual. That's a play SB makes 9 out of 10 times.
No other way to describe it than, yes, it might have been a bad hop, but it's a ball that should have been caught.
We'll watch this again. He gets right up to it. Now this hop right here, he's looking to come up. You see that? He had the glove above the ball. He had gotten there in plenty of time.
He did everything the way you should do it, and with Lynn scheduled up, they will go to Gary Ward as a pinch hitter.
Gary Ward.
So not only is it a base hit, but the fact that it was a ground ball up the middle and Kelly playing Moreland towards the deep side, Whitaker motors all the way to third. So the Tigers have first and third with 2 outs. No activity in the Yankee bullpen now as we look. There's some rustling around out there. Still no one's up to throw.
Guterman's got to really bear down here.
Righetti is up. The left-hander in the Yankee bullpen. Strike. Rick Shue has come in to pinch run at first base for Moreland. So Shue is on first. Has average speed. Moreland had below average speed. That would represent the go-ahead run. The tying run is on third in the personage of Lou Whitaker. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ward.
That was some pretty good pitching there. He made him swing at a pitch outside the strike zone, came back on the inside corner. Now, if he's got one of those pitches that really dances.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ward hangs in there and fouls it off down the right field line.
That's all he could do with that pitch.
Ward was released by the Yankees, picked up by Detroit, and is a .262 hitter. Plunk, the right-hander, Righetti, the left-hander, in the Yankee bullpen. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Oh, yeah!
Luderman came up with the pitch that he needed. And the Tigers strand 2 in the 8th inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th at Yankee Stadium. The score: the Yankees 1, the Tigers 0.
Zari.
Great names there, huh, Scooter?
Oh, man. Earl Combs on the far right of the screen. And Murderer's Row.
He was still a coach then.
He was a coach then, yeah.
That's why he's still in uniform.
Yep. But he had been with that 27 team. He was still a coach when I was here those years.
Don Mattingly steps in, 2 for 3 on the day at .311, 11 home runs, 54 runs batted in. The Yankees lead it here in the bottom of the 8th, 1-0. 1-8-0 for New York. Detroit, no runs, 7 hits, and no errors. And Frank Tanana remains in there. A couple of defensive changes. Pettis stays in the game in center field. Shue stays in the game at third base. And there's some folks, Scooter, that just talk about history.
Just asking Marty Appel, where Wally Pipp, Babe Ruth, Tony Lazzari, Mark Koenig.
And another name from Yankee history, Mattingly, singles to right field.
His 3rd hit of the ball game.
3 for 4. He has hit in 17 consecutive games now as Frank Tanana marches back to the mound. By the way, Scooter, the replica Yankee jackets we were wearing at the start of today's telecast weren't, of course, from 1939, but from the 20s when Murderer's Row was at its height. The jackets, along with the replica caps from that area, were provided for us today by Mitchell & Ness Nostalgia of Philadelphia, which manufactures the Cooperstown Authentic Collection.
All right, there are 4 more greats. Bob Shorkey, Wade Hoyt, Jumpin' Joe Dugan, and Bob Musill. I mean, if any of you were fortunate enough that we had seen these, Wally Pipp, who got the headache, and Lou Gehrig came in, and Pipp never got back on. Babe Ruth, Tony Lazzari, push him up, and Mark Koenig, who was a shortstop. He's the only one living, I understand, from the 27 Yankees.
Balboni at the plate, no balls, 1 strike. Mattingly at first. In the dirt. By the time he catches up with it, Mattingly rounds second and holds. That's a wild pitch credited against Tanana.
And that's his 7th wild pitch, which is the most on the Tigers. You wouldn't think a guy that throws that much junk would throw a lot of wild pitches.
He pitches down, though, and very often he'll be in the dirt. And with the catching problems that Detroit has had this year, Nopes, not regarded as a great defensive catcher, but a great athlete. Now he's out with the injury, and Heath after him. 1 ball, 1 strike to Balboni. Up the middle, Tanana has it. He's got Mattingly caught up between second and third. Back to second, and they just get him as he gets back to the bag.
I tell you, if Mattingly had slid a second sooner, I think he'd have slid underneath the tag.
I tell you, give Tanana credit the way he handles this play.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is where his experience comes through.
Yep. He gets Mattingly, and he runs him all the way back and makes sure he's... It's a little surprising that Mattingly, he thought it was going to get by the pitcher. But now watch this. He keeps his body up high. See, he tags him there. Now, if he had been able to slide sooner, he'd have been able to get underneath the tag.
So Tallison now will come in to run for Balboni as the Yankees lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tallison will run at first. And Tanana will work to Jesse Barfield. Barfield struck out looking his last time up. Before that, he had doubled to left field and then flied out to center field on a nice play at the warning track. He hit it pretty good.
Yes, he did. He has scored the 1 run today, and he has saved at least 3 playing the outfield. So.
Hit the short. Over is Brumley. They get 1, but they won't get 2 with Barfield. So the force 6-4, and there's 2 outs. And Barfield will be at first. Barfield has made 2 exceptional plays in right field, and he's played today with a knee that is below par. Strained his knee a little bit, was taking treatment for it in the trainer's room before today's ball game, but you never know it by the way number 29 is played this afternoon.
And he scored. Didn't think he had a chance to score on that line shot single to right field. Lemon had the ball, and he was just getting to third base, and he made it easily.
By the way, Scooter, Cleveland beat the White Sox 3-2, 3-5-0, 2-7-0 for Chicago. Bale's the winner, Perez the loser, and Jones gets his 20th save in that one. Tonight, Baltimore at Toronto, Milwaukee, Boston, Minnesota, Seattle, Texas, California, Kansas City, Oakland. That game in Toronto tonight, the Orioles will go with Schmidt. Dave Steve will go for Toronto as the Yankees hope to hold on here and then hope to get some help north of the border from the Blue Jays. Yankees start the day 6.5 back, 39-41 as we hit the halfway point. It's hard to believe we're at 81 games halfway.
No, it is. Seems like every time the Yankees get to 500, they play bad baseball for a couple of games. Got that out of their system now.
That one just inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tom Brookins. Brookins flied out to right, singled in the lone Yankee run. That came in the 4th inning, and then grounded out to 3rd. This one to short. Brumley over to Whitaker. That'll do it for the Yankees in the bottom of the 8th inning on the Cannon Camera scoreboard. The score at the end of 8. The Yankees 1, the Tigers nothing.
Johnny. All right, from high atop Yankee Stadium. Beautiful shot here. And it'd be even more beautiful if it goes 1, 2, 3 here in the top of the 9th. Some of the murders row we didn't see. Herb Pennock, great left hand. Everett Scott, the shortstop. Wally Shang, a catcher. Benny Bengow, a catcher. And there's Earl Combs, who was a great center fielder, but as a coach now, was a coach then.
Chet Lemon hits this one high to Mel Hall in left field. Flips the glasses down and makes the catch. One down, and from 1989 we go back to 1927 and talk about murders row and some of the numbers. Unbelievable.
307 team average, 158 homers, slugging percentage 489, winning percentage 714. They won 110 ball games. They only played 154 in those years. Man, oh man. There's 1 year here, and I know John Moore's got the statistics. It was the year that Ruth hit the 60 home runs, and yet Gehrig drove in more runs than Ruth drove in that year. I couldn't believe it. I mean, Ruth was cleaning the bases, and Gehrig still, I know they walked Ruth sometimes. So go ahead, this is more important right now.
Back at Yankee Stadium, Alan Trammell will come in to pinch hit for Dave Bergman. We figured we'd see him this inning, and with the Tigers down to their final 2 outs and trailing by 1, here's the man who touched Guterman for the winning hit the other night. This one he lofts to short right field, and Sachs is there. You can hear the applause from the fans because they knew who was up at the plate. Bad back or not, Alan Trammell has been like Death Valley days to the Yankees over the last few years. Sachs makes a good play on this one, Scooter. Gets out there quick.
Yes, he does, because Barfield had trouble. As you mentioned, he was limping a little bit. Oh, there it is. Look at this. Ruth batted .356, 60 homers, 164 runs batted. And Gehrig batted .373, 47 homers, and 175 runs batted in.
Not a bad number 3 and number 4 in the lineup.
Oh, man. Who'd want to pitch against them? Woo.
Imagine.
Total batting average. Look at that for the 2 guys. 365.
2 outs. To the plate is Mike Heath. Heath is lined out to Kelly. Nice play by Roberto in center field. Grounded to short and then struck out. became Schulte's 4th strikeout victim in the 7th inning. This one hit the short. Espinosa charging. That'll do it. Lee Guterman gets the monkey off his back. He lost the game in Detroit, did not want to get into trouble in this 9th inning at Yankee Stadium. And on a day when the tradition and history of Lou Gehrig and the Yankees was honored, the Yankees obliged with a 1-0 win over the Detroit Tigers. The Yankees 1 run, 9 hits and no errors. The Tigers no run, 7 hits and no errors. Guterman comes in to clean it up. Schulte will get the victory, and Bob Guerin continues an impressive streak as they bring him up from Columbus. Guerin catches him, and they come up with victories. We'll have more on that after this timeout.
Participating advertisers in New York Yankee baseball are Dodge. Visit your Tri-State Dodge dealer where the new spirit shows. Anheuser-Busch. We brew our fine quality beers to be enjoyed responsibly. Remember, know when to say when. New York's Lotto. All you need is $1 and a dream. Watch for the lottery drawings on WPIX. The Daily News, New York's hometown paper. Nobody tells it like the Daily News. 9X Yellow Pages. It's out there, it's in here. And by the New York Yankees.
Well, Scooter, back at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees win it. 1 run, 9 hits and no errors to Detroit's no run, 7 hits and no errors. Schulte gets the win, pitched impressively as he went 7 innings, no runs and only 6 hits. And Guterman comes in to hammer things down, and it keeps a streak going for Bob Guerin, because when you look at this year, and again, joining us at Yankee Stadium, we are wearing replica attire from the 1920s and 30s to this Lou Gehrig Day at Yankee Stadium 50 years ago. If you're just joining us, it was Lou Gehrig Day here. But Guerin was the catcher when Island came up for his first appearance. He won. Guerin was the catcher when Parker came up for his first appearance. He won. When Jones came up, Slaught caught, and it was a loss. So for the 3rd time now, Guerin catches somebody coming up from Columbus, and they come up with a victory their first time up. He was impressive.
He was very impressive. He only walked 2 men and struck out 3, but I mean, the way his ball was moving, Tom Seaver was very impressed with the way Schulte pitched, and I think he's got to be one of the most happiest men, along with Billy Connors and Dallas Green and all the Yankees.
You know, you look at the statistics today, and it's another 1-run ball game. That means 6 of the last 7 games these two teams have played have been 1-run affairs, and there is a rivalry here.
Oh, there's definitely a rivalry. The only bad thing is that they won most of the 1-run games, but the Yankees will get back by the second half. It's still a problem with the starting rotation of the pitchers. But I think now this job by Schulte is going to shed new light, I think, on the way the Yankees are going to go after their pitchers.
I think very definitely Dallas Green was looking for someone to give this staff innings. If there's anything that the Yankees need from the starting rotation now, it's innings, and that's something they have not been able to count on. Dave LaPointe on the disabled list. He'll spend all 15 days on that DL, but he's expected to be back and be okay. Parker's back from the disabled list, and they feel that he'll be comfortable now. So really, Parker right now is solidly entrenched in the starting rotation, and he, in fact, may be your #1 pitcher right now.
He could very well be.
We'll be back with more from Yankee Stadium. The Yankees beat the Tigers 1-0. We'll have more after this.
Hello there, everybody. You know, Yankee baseball in the summer months always prove to be a hot combination. And kids, here's your chance to cool off while having fun in the sun. Modell's presents Yankee Water Bottle Day, Thursday, July 13th at 1 o'clock, when the Yankees battle the Royals. And all fans 14 and younger receive a free Yankee water bottle, compliments of Modell's. So don't sweat it. Get your tickets now.
The festivities continue at Yankee Stadium in New York, as we've been telling you. Not only is this a day when the Yankees have a big holiday affair with the Detroit Tigers, but after the game, in about 20 minutes from now, there's going to be a Beach Boy concert here at Yankee Stadium. And Scooter, I know you're waiting for your song to be sung today.
It'll be on. Don't worry. Don't forget, people can still come in and catch the whole Beach Boy concert here at Yankee Stadium.
And within about 20 minutes, they'll be getting on that one. And
yes,
Steve Sachs will be playing the drums for a sit-in for one of the two songs during the course of today. Sax, of course, grew up playing the drums, so he'll sit in with the Beach Boys a little bit. And there is no truth to the rumor that Tom Seaver will be singing a little bit later today, is there? Huh?
Did we see Seaver's socks today?
Yes, we did.
Yesterday, beautiful pink socks. Today, beautiful red socks. Did we see them? I missed
we
it.
did.
All right.
Well, we, of course, are celebrating the Beach Boys, celebrating the 4th of July, and we're also, all day long, we've been celebrating the great Lou Gehrig. This is the 50th anniversary of Lou Gehrig Day at Yankee Stadium. We've heard from all the principals. At the beginning of the broadcast, we heard from Lou in his speech, and now let's hear again, 50 years ago today, Lou Gehrig Day, and the Iron Horse stepped to the microphone.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you.
An awful lot to live for, and a day that all of baseball will always remember, and certainly this franchise, and any baseball fan who knows the history of the national pastime looks at that moment as one of the very special ones, Scooter.
Oh, it absolutely was. I mean, it was such a tribute he gave to all his fellow teammates and his manager, Joe McCarthy, and all the fans that had come out and treated him so well. The newspaper, he didn't forget anybody, and it was a speech he just made up as he went along. At first, he wasn't going to say anything.
You know, and I think when we think back of it, too, we remember that Lou Gehrig, when he came to the ballpark that day, was not feeling very well. In fact, some people said that they didn't think he'd be able to come out and be a part of those ceremonies, but they gave him a drink of juice in the dugout before the game, and he was able to come out. You could see that he was drained.
Oh, he really was. One of the saddest moments, and yet one of the most glorious moments that you'll remember. 50 years ago, it just seems like yesterday. Just turn the clock back 24 hours.
You know, Scooter, they gave him a plaque that day, a trophy, and there was an inscription from the team on that trophy, and the inscription read, "To Lou Gehrig, we've been to the wars together, we took our foes as they came, and always you were the leader, and ever you played the game. Idol of cheering millions, records are yours by the sheaves. Iron of frame they hailed you, decked you with laurel leaves. But higher than that we hold you, we who have known you the best, knowing the way you came through every human test. Let this be a silent token of lasting friendship gleam, and all that we've left unspoken, your pals on the Yankee team."
It's really a great tribute from some really, really great ball players.
Well, that'll do it from Yankee Stadium. We'll be back with one final word after this timeout. Well, that's it from Yankee Stadium today. The festivities continue on this anniversary, 50th anniversary of Lou Gehrig Day. They're, about 10 minutes away from the start of the Beach Boys concert, and the crowd has not lightened. It is intensifying as we get ready to celebrate the 4th of July with some music here at Yankee Stadium. That's it from the stadium. Final score again, the Yankees beat the Tigers 1-0. Be sure to join us for our next telecast on Sunday, July the 9th at 1 o'clock when the Yankees face the Boston Red Sox here on the Yankee Baseball Network. Those are some of the folks that have made this broadcast possible today and given us the opportunity to reflect on the career of the great Lou Gehrig, this the 50th anniversary of Lou Gehrig Day at Yankee Stadium. For the Scooter, Phil Rizzuto, and for Tom Seaver, this is George Grant saying good day, everybody, and we leave you with some words from that special day, July the 4th, 1939.
You will live long in basic, and for generations to come, while sports with the wonder of American baseball, they will point to your record with pride and satisfaction. I congratulate you.
As an old-timer, I present this token from the Old Time Baseball Association of Colorado and welcome you among the old-timers with the assurance that there are some swell fellows in our association and we can do with another good one.
I'll ask Joe McCarthy to make the presentation.
I don't have to read that. when you came to my room in Detroit some time ago and told me that you thought that you were hindering the chances of the ball club by staying in the ball game. That was a day that I never wanted to see.
But I was talking to Tony a few minutes ago when we were standing out in the pitcher's box. I said, holy smokes here, Tony. There's 13 of us here. He says, no, Bibgrass just left the clubhouse. He said, but what of it? He says, we only need 9 and we can beat them. And I know Lou is going to keep that stiff upper lip, and he's going to keep on going. And baseball need him, and I think he'll stay in there. What I should think Lou would do, I don't know if the club is going to consider it or not, but my idea is to let Lou go up into the mountains. I saw a fishing rod here.
That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. Young man wouldn't consider that the highlight of his life. If he could do that just for one day. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.